So quickly, I'm just going to create a schema for a database, just for join, for the purpose of join. Uh, so you notice that I'm getting an error. Can anybody see that I'm getting an error? Create database called join. Why is that? Who can tell me why that is? Hello? Can anybody hear me? Who can tell me why I'm getting an error while trying to create a database with a database name called join?
Because join is a function, I think.
The join is a syntax
The
in,
syntax for that.
yeah, join is a syntax in SQL. So let's see, what should I do? Join underscore DB. So let me spell the join well. So I would run it and I'll get success. I would refresh. Um, I would say use join underscore DB. Um, I would just right click here. So I want to create table. I want to, again, I'm too lazy. Um, I want to do it the lazy way. So I'm going to create a table called course and just import. Oh, let me go back. So this is integer. No, I don't want to make this integer. I want to make this text. Actually, variable character, not text. Yeah. So I would execute success, finish. I'm going to refresh. I'll see the table there with the courses, and I would also create another table this time around. Sorry, please let me finish. I would, well, I think I'm going to leave this like this and run. Mr. Ideu, what's the issue?
Yes, I wanted to ask, is it more that we must use join like the schema you are using? Why can't just maybe just highlight it on the left hand under the schemas just to indicate that yes, that is the current this thing we are working on instead of using use join and the schema you have created.
No, just it's a preference thing, right? You don't have to. You get
Okay.
it's a preference thing. Hmm. You understand that? You understand what I'm saying, right?
I don't get it, sir.
So what you are saying is a thing of preference.
Okay,
I
okay.
just created the database for that purpose. I don't want to play with any of the database I've used.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
just a thing of preference. You get.
All right. All right.
Cool. So my course ID, I want to make it a variable character as well as my student ID. So what do I do? So go back to basics. I'll say alter table. I'll call the name of my table, which is course. What do I do? I'll say modify course ID. What do I want to modify it to? I want to modify it to variable character, and maybe I'll just say 10, right? And I'm done. I'll run it, refresh, and you can see it has changed. And I would also do the same thing for my student ID. In fact, I also want to do the same thing for my course name. I'll see modify course name. I would see varchar I actually just say character and I'll put like 30. So I think I'm supposed to use a comma. Yeah. So then I would run it, refresh, and I'll then see my changes. For the student, I want to change the student name to text, student ID from integer to from text to variable character or character, and so I'm just going to copy this. The student ID, I think I'll make it integer. So I'll say student, right? Again, this is just something you guys already know. So the student ID would be, should I make it, so variable character, maybe I'll just put, 4. Oh, we put 10, so maybe I'll put 5. Then the student name, I would say character, and I'll put on maybe 150 because um it worked fine. If I refresh that, so our student name ID here is found in both student ID and is both student and course, so this would be a foreign key, right? Does that make sense? So I can still alter my table or alter table. I will say my student table. What do I want to do? I want to add constraint, or no, not constraint. What I want to do is to modify the student ID that is a variable character of 10. I want to say primary key, right? And I'll run it, I'll refresh, and if I go to my student table, I can see that oh, then ID, sorry, this is supposed to highlight as did I do it correctly? Oh, I think I'm supposed to refresh. Yeah, so if I refresh here, I can see that these are also things you need to be able to look out for. I also want to alter my table, my course table. What do I want to do? I would want to modify the course ID as well. I want to modify the course ID. What did I say the course ID is? The course ID is varchar. Maybe I'll say 6 primary key. I'm also say add constraint, and let's see if this will work. The constraint will be foreign key. Sorry, do you want to say something? Cecilia, do you want to say something?
No, that was a mistake. Sorry.
So, and I'll say reference to the, what will be my reference? Will be student, then I'm referring to the student ID there, right? Now, I'm getting an error, and I think it is because I'm supposed to do something like this. Okay, oh, references, sorry. Oh, it working. Interesting. Oh, what did I do? It worked fine. I'll refresh, go back to my course, and I can see that both of them are highlighted with this highlighting an underscore, which is the primary key. Then I can then view my tables, right? I'll say student. I want to see something. Okay, so I have sorry about that. I have five students here, and I have how many courses? I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 courses. However, I have student with student ID one is so student with student ID 1, 2, 3, 4 have courses here, but student ID 5 is not offering any course here. That's James, right? So we want to use the different join, and so we have about, depending on the SQL you are using, we have inner join, we have outer join, um, we have left join, right join, left join, sorry. We have right join. The outer join might not work. So excuse me. The outer join is SQL specific, I think. Then I think there is cross join. Any question? Any questions, please, before we continue? So I think they are about 1, 2, 3, 4, and they have cross join too as well. But we'll be looking at inner join, left join, and maybe right join. Any questions, before?
Sorry, I just observed something. Those things that you were changing from the table, you said
Yes.
that they how do I put it now? What they came with is not what we should operate with. Like the course ID, initially it was I think it was integer. You change it to Vasha.
No. Okay, so I get the question. So don't bother about that. This is just my own preference. Again, it's a preference thing. I didn't create a
You uploaded the
table.
table,
I
yes.
uploaded it directly, and I didn't set any constraint, any this. So it gave me like a default, and I felt
Okay.
let me just change it. So something like student ID now, if I put integer, it means I'll be able to do an aggregation like sum on it, and I don't want to do that because I'm not going to use it for that.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So it doesn't really um bother me as such. Do you get?
Okay, yes, I get.
So it's a preference thing. Don't mind that. Just try as much as possible to use the appropriate data types. You get,
All right.
preference. So remember in the last session we talked about join, right? And so we said if we want to then do a combination of these tables, so I can do select all from, I'll say student, right? I would set this as an alias, maybe S. I will set an alias, and there's even straight join. Interesting. Then I'll say join, I would say course, I'll say C on S dot student ID is what is linking them together, equal what? C dot student ID, because this is the foreign key. Student ID is a primary. I told you what a foreign key is a primary key in one table and a foreign key. A foreign key in one table is a primary key in another table. So I'm going to do my inner join. Now what do we have? I'm just going to do my join. What then do we have? We have um we have, remember, we have 5 students, but unfortunately we have John 1, John again, because John is offering my biology and math. Mary is just offering physics, and Linda is just offering history. Peter is offering chemistry. Now remember that there is James, right? James, not with the student ID 5, age 20, is not here. Why? The reason is because it is only going to map what is similar to both tables for me. And I think that is the way inner join works. So if I say inner join this, so if I say inner join, I think the default for this is inner join, but I'm curious. So if I do inner join and I run this, it's going to give me the same thing. So by default, if I use join, it's going to do inner join. Inner join is only going to bring a complete table that is that you have similar. So James doesn't have any reference in the cost table, so it just automatically removes it out. So it's going to bring what is both similar to the left and right and remove every other thing. Does that make sense? So let's yeah, Mr. Ide, do you want to say something?
No, yes, it's fine.
Okay, so let's say I'm going to add oh, I'm not going to add anything. I made the mistake by doing something. So okay, I think I can add a course here. Let me do insert a course. So insert into, then I'll say course. I would say what am I inserting? I'll say course ID and course name. I'm not going to bother about the student ID. I'll say values. I'll say course ID. I'll put 106, right? And I'll say what course should I put here? Let's say literature. I would end it with a semicolon. I would run it. It's successful, and I'm going to view my course. So we have a new course that doesn't have a student ID, literature. Now if I run this my inner join, remember that it doesn't have a student ID, so it will automatically remove literature. Now once I run this my inner join, it's going to still remove literature. You're not going to see it. So both James in the student table and literature in the course table have disappeared. So inner join will join two tables, and the result will be only those that you can find in one in the other. So these are like minds, for instance. However, if I want to say I want to do left join, right? So left join will bring everything from the first table, which is this my table, right? Join to the second table, and for whatever there is for whatever entry that exists in student table and is not in course table, it will come out. It will then bring, in addition to the course table, it will just add null. What do I mean? I'm just going to copy this. Remember that James does not exist. James exists in the student table but does not exist in the course table, right? So I'm going to say left join. The left will just be assuming that the student table is by the left and is joining course by the right. And so it will happen is going to return James, but it will then say course ID null, student ID null, and every other thing null. Can you see James here? James now that belongs to this student ID, and this student table does not have anything here because it doesn't it doesn't have anything that exists here because there is no course attached to it. That's how left join works. So you assume that this student is by this student table is by the left and this course table is by the right. It's always going to return everything on the left, but being that there's nothing on the right that is related to it, it will just return none. Now, right join will be the opposite. Let me show you. So I'm just going to say right join. Outer join doesn't exist in my setup, but I think it does exist in other thing. So can you see that it returned everything from the student from the course table, inclusive of literature, that doesn't have any student ID attached to it, and it now return is a null. It will return a null value for student table. So it's basically the opposite of right join, and it depends on. I don't. You might ask why they use it. I really don't know. It depends on the situation. You might want to just check. Does any why have any course that doesn't belong to any student? So something like that. So is that maybe you delete that course or something of that nature? I don't know if that makes sense. So you usually would not notice inner join, left join, or right join if everything that is found in the left hand side of the table is also found in the right hand side of the table. So you might not notice it a lot of the times. So I just wanted to show you guys how the types of join works. So let me see for the cross join. The cross join is crazy. I'm just going to I don't know. I think cross join is also part of this. Oh, cross join. Interesting. Let's do for the cross join. Cross join works like oh, just I don't think this is the best. I think they use cross join mostly in a table. You are joining the table by itself. I cannot think about a scenario now, but if I do, I would let you know. Okay. Any questions? Any questions? Oh,
No, sir. No, sir.
No question, sir.
okay, good. So we will be talking about Windows function. So we'll be talking about Windows function. So basically, a Windows function, what it does, it allows you do what they call partitioning. Let me show you what that means. Where's my oh cool, this is interesting. So it allows you do what they call partitioning. What it does is remember our result management system, right? Oh, yes. Who can remember that where we created a view or temporary table and or procedure? Okay, we have not used this yet. We will not make this active. How do we make that? In set as default. Yeah. Is anyone raising their hands? Okay, said yes. Okay, yeah. So remember our results management system database. So let's say what do I want to do? If, for instance, I want to rank this particular table from highest to lowest, I want to know the first to the last, for instance. Um, there's literally no way I can actually do that ordinarily, but with Windows function, I can create a partition as a column, a standalone column that is dependent on this particular table, but um, is not affected by this table. I can even create aggregation. You know, anytime you want to create aggregation, you use group by, right? So if you want to do sum, count, average, and so on, right? Hello.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so you do some kind of group by. So in the event I don't want to use the group by, you can actually use a Windows function. So there are basically two types of Windows function. There is the aggregate Windows function, and I think there is a ranking Windows function. So in this case, let's say we want to get your report card will see this person is first, second, third, fourth. So basically, if your Windows function it's a column on its own. So you have your Windows function, your window function, then you have over, then you just name it as, you give it an alias as a name, then from your table, basically, or your table name. So this is how you write Windows function, because it is meant to be a column, but the column is a standalone. It doesn't affect the main table itself, and so it's just like a partitioning. You are adding like we stayed in a one bedroom apartment before, where you use a window to a curtain to separate, like a parlor room kind of thing. Anybody, you understand that concept? Probably. Okay, cool. I realize people stuff. Anywho, so that is what they call partitioning. It's the same. You are doing this. It's the same rule, but you are just creating a partition to serve as maybe a parlor or a room or something like that. It's still the same room. It's still one room. Maybe the room is so big that ordinarily you'll be wondering why the owner of the house built it as one room. So that is the way Windows function works. And so I said there is the ranking Windows function as well as the aggregate Windows function, and I will explain what that means. So for instance, for the ranking Windows function, we have about sorry about that. Okay, I don't know why this is so we have the different kind of rank. There's the rank, row number, we have the dense rank, I think we have the percent rank. I remember. Yeah. Oh, so it's percent rank. Yes, percent rank. And so let's start from the row number. So if I want to add a row number, like a pseudo row number, just like this ID, we have 1 to 30, right? I could actually add it as a Windows function. How do I do that? So I would say select. Can you guys see my screen? Then let me increase the. I'll say select again. I'll say from. I already created a view of this before, and so I'm just going to call my view. I think if you guys remember, I created a view which is a pseudo table, which is why it is important that. So this is my view, and I think I explained why I created the view. Okay, so student underscore result underscore image underscore. What's happening? Is my view no more there? Oh, sorry about that. This is supposed to be like this. Uh, supposed to comment on this. I think it's saying that I have no. Oh, so sorry about that. Oh, yeah. So this is my table, right? So I can create a row number. Let's assume this ID doesn't exist. So how do I do that? I'll say row number. I will now say over. That's my Windows function. Over. Then I'll just give it an alias. As I'll just say seat number or something. And watch what happens. You can see to just create a seat number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 30 that coincides with this ID here. So you can actually do that. You might be wondering why that is important. So let's say you don't have an ID, you can actually create an ID for it. Then let's say I want to rank it by first to last, like who has the highest from first to last. I can use the rank Windows function, so I'll say select. Again, it's still the same. I'll just copy this. I'm too lazy. So instead of row number now, I'll use rank. I guess I'm going to say rank like this. You know why I'm doing this? And anybody tell me why I'm doing this? Instead of me to write in complete caps, I'm putting some caps on small. And tell me who has an idea of as using why I'm allowed to guess. It's fine.
I think SQL works whether you use a combination of up and lower key.
Yeah, so just trying to show you that regardless of whether you use capital or small letter or combine, in as much as we are going to call the syntax that it understands, it's going to work. But for best practice, please use capital letter for syntax. Please, I beg you.
Okay.
So I would use the rank and say as ranking. And then I'm going to run it. Watch what happens. Now, unfortunately, it's showing me 111 everything. Why? I didn't specify what I'm ranking it by. So usually I'm supposed to rank it by what? Total score, right? Is that not? I'm supposed to look for something to rank it with, and total score looks like the best because total score is the cumulative sum of all of the scores they've had, right? Is that not? But unfortunately, I didn't rank it by that. So what I'm supposed to do is to say, I want them to do this ranking, but I want to order it by this total score. So inside the over function, I'll say order by total underscore score in descending order, right? Because I want from the highest number to the lowest number. So I'm going to then select everything and run it again. Guess what? and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I have 2, 6. Why do I have 2, 6? Because I have two total score that is what 884. Can you guys see that? Can you guys see that I have two numbers that are 884? Can you guys see that? And so it is ranking it as the same rank, so 6, 6. But unfortunately, if two people are in sixth position, what is supposed to show next is 7, right? But it is showing me 8, which is highly frustrating. It is showing me 8, which is highly frustrating. Well, how then do I solve this particular problem? I can solve this particular problem using the dense rank function. So I would say dense underscore rank. Now, once I do that, it's still going to be almost the same thing, but where this, so because it's assuming that if this 2 is 6, 6, the next thing is 8, because you have 6 and 7. So it's taking it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But because this position is the same thing, it's taking it as these two guys have the same number 6, 6, but this second 6 is the 7th position, and so it will just move to 8, 9, 10, and so on without putting 7. But what I want to do is to rank it based on their score in such a way that they should be available position from 1 to wherever the scores actually stop. How then do I do that? So you can even see this is 16, 16, you have 18, and so on, because these numbers are the same thing up to a certain point. You have two of these numbers that are the same thing, where again up to 30. So I'll use the dense rank, and what the dense rank will help me do is, if I run it, I guys see, it will rank it for me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, because these guys are having the same number. Then it will move 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We have 215 because these guys are 845, 845 each. Then it will move 16. We have four people in the 16th position. Then another 2 people in the 17th position because they have the same number 8, 43, and 17, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So despite the fact that there are 30 students in this particular class, the 24th position is the highest position they have. Unlike before when we use rank and it just showing us 30 here. Does that make sense? Any questions? So, if we then want to do an aggregation, we want to know what is the average total score. What's the average total score? And so excuse me. How do I do this? Okay, I'm not going to use this example. Let me use a different example. You guys would understand that better. Excuse me. Okay. Sorry. Let me try and see if I can get some data that I will use to express Windows function. Okay, I think I have one here. I have one here. Sorry about that. You Excel and generate kind of data. Save this.